truth and taught a bitter pill, a consequence unfit. He built his throne on lies, on curated careful scams. Now dash fires burning bright, exposing all his shams. Let the trolls, the haters, the algorithms are rigged, but truth and taught a bitter pill, a consequence unfit. He built his throne on lies, on curated careful scams. Now dash fires burning bright, exposing all his shams. Crash out, king, your reign is done. The empire's crumbling down. Dash fires lit the match, the fire spreading through the town. No more paid bodies, no more crocodile tears. The reckoning is here for by all these wasted years. Crash out, king, your pockets bleed. Your image in the dirt. You built your castle on sand, and now it's getting hurt. So scream and rage and bend, it won't change what's been shown. Your lies are unraveling, your true colors have grown. Remember Pizza Gate, the rage. The senseless ran another manufactured crisis, another desperate slant. He wants the truth, he silences, he hides behind his wall. But dash fires digging deep, exposing it all. The support is dwindling, the chapter goes down now. Set for the sense and sycophants are leaking from his brow. He begs for such, he whines and cries a pathetic display. While genuine creators struggle, he's just leeching day by day. Crash out, king, your reign is done. The empire's crumbling down. Dash fires lit the match, the fire spreading through the town. No more pity bodies, no more crocodile tears. The reckoning is here for by all these wasted years. Crash out, king, your pockets bleed. Your image in the dirt. You built your castle on sand, and now it's getting hurt. So scream and rage and bend, it won't change what's been shown. Your lies are unraveling, your true colors have grown. The salt is overflowing, the tears are turning sour. He's losing his control, his fragile fading power. He calls it hate, harassment, a victim in his mind. But accountability's a bitch, a truth he can't outgrind. Fire's evidence is mounting, undeniable and clear. The manipulation, the toxicity for everyone to hear. He's trapped within his echo chamber, a prisoner of his lies, while the outside world is watching with disgust in their eyes. He plays a DSP gaming curse, a pathetic weak excuse for years of narcissistic rage and financial abuse. Bills are piling up, the pressure's getting tight. He's scrambling for donations, grasping with all his might. Crash out, king, your reign is done. The empire's crumbling down. Dash fires lit the match, the fire spreading through the town. No more pity parties, no more crocodile tears. The reckoning is here, filled by all these wasted years. Crash out, king, your pockets bleed. Your image in the dirt. You built your castle on sand, and now it's getting hurt. The salt is overflowing, the tears are turning sour. He's losing his control, his fragile fading power. He calls it hate and harassment, a victim in his mind. But accountability's a bitch, a truth he can't outgrind.
Yo, let the record skip, rewind the tape. Another clown falls, another sad escape. Review take, you say, the king of cringe and fluff got his throne snatched, turns out he wasn't tough enough. Keemstar's laughter echoes a digital guillotine, chops off the head of a washed up failing machine. LOLCOW Tech, the name itself a monument to shame. Now it's a graveyard whispering your forgotten name. Fired from the show, kicked to the curb and left to bleed. Another YouTuber falls, planting a pathetic seed of desperation, lies, and desperate flailing cries. Review tech, you say your last damn goodbye. You built your empire on clickbait and empty hype. Now the algorithm's turned and you're paying the price. Keemstar's the judge, the jury, and the executioner's hand. Welcome to the wasteland. Welcome to no man's land. Remember the glory, the fleeting, artificial fame, built on stolen content, a repetitive, boring game of regurgitated specs and superficial sheen, lacking substance, depth, a hollow echoing scene. You thought you were untouchable, a digital demigod, but pride comes before the fall, understood. Your legacy cemented in a mountain of deceit, a cautionary tale of how ambition can't be beat. Fired from the show, kicked to the curb and left to bleed. Another YouTuber falls, planting a pathetic seed of desperation, lies, and desperate flailing cries. Review tech to say your last damn goodbye. You built your empire on clickbait and empty hype. Now the algorithm's turned and you're paying the price. Team stars, the judge, the jury, and the executioner's hand. Welcome to the wasteland. Welcome to no man's land. From tech guru to dumpster fire, a rapid descent. Your credibility shattered, your reputation spent. Speed, burning bridges faster. You could build them up. Now you're choking on the ashes, drinking from the bitter cup. Don't try to rally your fans, they've already seen the light. The facade is crumbling, exposed and
Control the haters, the algorithms are rigged. But truth is hard, a bitter pill, a consequence unfake. He built his throne on lies, on curated countless scams. Out dash fires burning bright, exposing all the shams. Crash out king, your reign is done. The empire's crumbling down. Dash fires lit the match, the fire spreading through the town. No more paid bodies, no more crocodile tears. The reckoning is here, filled by all these wasted years. Crash out king, your pockets bleed. Your image in the dirt. You built your castle on sand, and now it's getting hurt. So scream and rage and bend, it won't change what's been shown. Your lies are unraveling, your true colors have grown.
What is going on, guys? What is going on? We are back, episode 2. Smart guys, what is going on? XPW Soldier. What's going on? COC. We got people over on YouTube. We got people over on Rumble. That is right. Today, we are trying out Rumble for the first time. Well, second time, first real stream. And not only that, we are, I believe, on X on Lord Diaz's side. We are on YouTube on Lord Diaz's side. And I think he's on Twitter, or not Twitter, Twitch as well. So we are taking over the platforms. We are going to take this, Smart guys, and we're going to make it something bigger than DSP could ever do. Because we are professional. We love the products. We're not fake fans like DSP and PWR. And also tonight, after the show on Kick and Rumble, I'm going to have an after show. We're going to play WWE 2K26. And I have a character made up that is PWR. And we're going to see how well he does. Maybe we'll make some other cows as well. But it's all good. Tonight is all about predictions, previews, and not only that, it's about having fun and celebrating the modern era. We're talking about Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Stephanie McMahon. We're talking about Liv Morgan. We're talking about all these great athletes coming together. Some good, some not so good. But I'm sure we'll get all into that. Man, oh man. Yeah, who's PWR? What's PWR? So how are you guys doing today? I see Phil played Mouse PI today, which that, yeah, they did not go very well. Money-wise, it went well, but not very well. Game Master says, I'm a real wrestling fan, been following since 1987. Damn. You've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, did you just watch WWE/WWF? Or did you watch WCW, NWA, all the other promotions? Because I love to hear other people's stuff. Yeah, so I should say with the quarter-in, hey guys, how is, like your weekend? I still can't believe how fucked he is in his career. I saw Asmongold talking about him too. When Asmongold's talking about you, it's bad. Even DSP was defending the Kino Casino. You know how bad you have to fuck up if DSP is defending Kino Casino? Man. That is crazy. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Who do you think's going to win some of the matches? Do you think it's going to be CM Punk or Roman Reigns as the champion? Do you think Cody Rhodes or Randy Orton are going to walk out with the title? Oh, you watch AWA and NWA. So you saw like the rise of Hulk Hogan and all them before he was Hulk Hogan. Now let me ask you this, Game Master. What was your favorite era of wrestling? Did you like the WWF, WWE, WCW, NWA, AWA, ECW maybe? So I've been watching it since like 1993, so not as long as you, but I was watching before the Attitude Era. You seen WCCW? Oh yeah. So that's when they had, was it the NWA and WCW were partnered together? You're hot for Randy? Oh, we're gonna have some words about Randy's partner, Pat McAfee too. Monday Night Wars was peak. Oh, it was a magical time. Oh my god, I sound just like PWR. It was the era, dude. It was the era. But seriously, like it was exciting. Every single week, something new was happening. They had to do it. They were competition. They were trying to put each other out of business. And man, oh man, it was awesome. It gave rise to Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Diamond Dallas Page, Goldberg, a lot of different stars. And it's really funny too because most of the wrestlers from the WWF era in the Monday Night Wars is former WCW wrestlers, which is weird because it used to be reversed. So you had like Hogan and Savage, Nasty Boys, Legion of Doom, Steiner Brothers all going to WCW. But then all of a sudden you had Steve Austin, you had Mick Foley, you had Triple H, who used to be like Paul Levesque, was it Terror Rising, and Jean Paul Levesque. And then you had The Undertaker as Mean Mark Callis. It was a swing of the pendulum, if you will. Oh, you watch mostly NWA? Okay, here we go. Are you guys ready to start? Let's do this. I believe we're about to hook up with the call right here. And we're going to be streaming between, what, 4 or 5 different platforms? Crazy. The new heights, dudes. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. It is WrestleMania week. It is Christmas for pro wrestling fans across the world. You know, this is the time of year that everybody becomes a pro wrestling fan, and I'm so glad to be able to have a conversation about the greatest show of this year, of WWE's calendar year, WrestleMania 42. How are you doing?
I am doing great. We were just talking. Me, Mr. Game Master, a lot of the chat, we're talking about WWF. We were talking about WWE, WCCW, AWA, NWA. Because Mr. Game Master here has been a wrestling fan since 1987. So he's seen a lot of stuff.
Well, god dang, that is awesome. It's so cool to be able to see where everybody kind of comes together, how they started watching pro wrestling, how long they've been watching pro wrestling. Pro wrestling's for everybody, man, because pro wrestling can be anything.
Exactly. No matter what you like, there's something in wrestling for everyone, like you said.
Agreed.
Oh, we got more.
So how is everybody doing across YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and now Twitter? I don't know if you're going to be giving Elon Musk your hard-earned money, but so far I've been having a really good time live streaming on the X platform. So if you're hanging out with us on X as well, let us know. Let us know. I want to make sure that everybody is represented and everybody is accounted for. One of the things that I did hear about our groundbreaking first episode of Smart Guys 3.0 was that the conversations were great, that we had a great back and forth. We had a great discussion about the King of the Ring 93, but they wish they were a part of the conversation. So I'm glad that you started off this stream with some input from somebody from your chat, and I want to make sure that we keep that conversation going. Guys, this is just as much your stream as it is ours. If you got something that's on your mind, please do let us know. We want to keep you involved in the conversation.
And not only that, when we're talking about our predictions, feel free in the chat to say who you think's going to win, what you think of the chat, and what you think of the wrestlers, the storylines, whatever you want to talk about, put it in chat. Let's see that engagement, dudes.
We love it. Let's go.
Oh, and also, we are also on Rumble right now, too. So we have like 5 different platforms all across here.
Well, god dang. That's awesome. That's really good to hear. We're going worldwide, baby.
That's right. Bigger than DSP ever could.
Ha! I don't even know who that guy is. He's so insignificant right now. He's all the way down there, and we are all the way up. Let's go.
Yeah. Who's a DSP? What's a DSP?
I don't even know how to spell DSP.
Okay, so we're going to start off on night 1. We have a 6-man tag match, which I call the String Team. Logan Paul, I Show Speed, and Austin Theory versus the Usos, LA Knight. And Logan Paul comes into this WrestleMania record 3-1. Austin Theory 2-0. Obviously, this is I Show Speed's first match. The Usos, Jay is 6-5. Of course, I wish I could forget last year's. Jimmy with 4-6. LA Knight 1-1. So this all started. Usos win the tag titles after reuniting. Then, what's remaining of the Vision after all the injuries, they win it because of I Show Speed. LA Knight shows up on I Show Speed's stream, throws him into a monitor, and then, remember, the Usos and Knight have beef before this, before coming together. At WrestlePalooza, LA Knight was a ref as the Vision took on the Usos. Jay was moved from singles to tag team. Not only that, they were in War Games together too. So what do you think of this build-up so far for the Usos, LA Knight, and the Stream Team?
I really like how you've labeled them the Stream Team, and I would not be surprised if the WWE satellite men pick that up and start using that for their programming, because it always seems to be the case. This is a quintessential WrestleMania match, and there's going to be some wrestling purists out there that are not going to like the fact that these primo WrestleMania spots on the card were taken up by content creators. And so to that I say, I understand, because we got people in the back that have been doing it and have been grinding for such a long time for just the opportunity to sniff at a segment on a WrestleMania show. And God knows they have enough segments to fill. It's about, what, 14 hours of pre-show, actual show, and post-show all together across the entirety of the weekend. Essentially, pretty much this match is for the casuals, for the people that don't really follow wrestling like we do, and it's the crossover. WrestleMania was an event that was made for crossover opportunities. From the very earliest WrestleManias, Cyndi Lauper, and the list goes on and on. We even had Snooki as a part of a WrestleMania match in a mixed tag once upon a time. This is, for lack of a better description, a time-honored tradition of having crossover mainstream talent interacting with established WWE rosters. And I couldn't think of a better lineup. When you have people like Austin Theory, the Usos, and LA Knight all capable inside of that ring. And if I were to be honest, I'm very glad that the Usos are now back together as a tag team. We did the singles run, and it did what it did. The Usos are best in a tag team. All 4 of them can put together a very competent match, but then you have to take into consideration the I Show Speed and the Logan Paul aspect of it. These guys, this isn't their first time. This isn't the first rodeo. They've been on WWE programming, especially Logan Paul, who has pleasantly surprised a lot of people and have proven a lot of people wrong. Now, you've got a lot of people that will have a lot of things to say about Logan Paul as a person or as a creator, but there is no denying the athletic ability and also the in-ring acumen of these talents. And so I'm thinking that this is going to be something that you're going to see on ESPN. You're going to see it on SportsCenter. Obviously, you're going to see all of the highlights, because these are all of the ingredients that you need to put together to make something that is going to have that crossover appeal that may potentially bring in some new fans. So all of the groundwork has been laid. Everything's been set up perfectly. It's just now up to them to go out there and do the things that they do best. So I am actually looking very forward to this. Logan Paul and Austin Theory as a part of the Vision, as cursed as that group is, still is a very formidable team to be reckoned with. I Show Speed, kind of included at the last minute. I do like the dynamic between all of them, but when it comes down to it, the Usos and LA Knight, unless there's some controversy towards the end of the match, I see the Usos and LA Knight taking it.
Yeah, and also XPW points this out in the chat that Jay Uso, actually attacked someone on a podcast, which of course was a work because he took a picture with him right after, which is the dumbest thing. You're gonna build it up and take a picture.
What's that?
But anyways, he did that, and then Cody Rhodes goes on Pat McAfee's show and starts smashing things up. I say, I Show Speed, Logan Paul, even Logan Paul's a wrestler now. That is like the perfect example of how to use a celebrity. And I said also, if you remember, when the Robust podcast first happened, we talked about LA Knight on that podcast. And I said one thing about LA Knight that rings true to today. We talked about WrestleMania. Do you remember what I said?
Man, I don't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning, so you're going to have to remind me.
So I said, in order to save LA Knight, he needs a big mainstream moment at WrestleMania. So him with I Show Speed, him with Logan Paul, him doing something, this is his opportunity, that mainstream opportunity to get into the next level too.
I could see that happening. And he is the face of Slim Jim right now. He's taken the mantle from the Macho Man, Randy Savage, and he does have that mainstream appeal. He's a star. He knows how to handle himself. If anybody could do it, LA Knight can.
And also, Game Master says, Usos getting back together reminds me of LOD, Legion of Doom, and the Hardys. I will say this. I am so glad they made one single choice. I think you're going to agree with me with this. That awful music. The Usos came back for that awful music, and after 1 week, it was gone.
Def Rebel strikes again. Like, this is the biggest problem that I have with the modern era, dude. These, especially when it comes to the Royal Rumbles, going back and watching The King of the Ring, you have those iconic riffs, the songs, the hits, and it resonates with the crowd. It brings out something out of everybody, the anticipation of seeing somebody walk out that curtain. But with all of these modern day tracks that they have right now, it just does not hit the same way. And maybe it's just not for me anymore. Maybe it's a generational thing. But as soon as this contract with Def Rebel is up, I sure hope that they don't renew. I miss the days of the CFOs when they were making the NXT themes. And it's just a testament to the fact that you had the Usos come out to a brand new tag team theme, and everybody shit on it to the point where they were like, all right, let's just bring it back. We're going to run it back. And now, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but instead of it's just me, Us, now they switched it up. They did change it a little bit, but just a little bit. So now it doesn't say it's just me, Us. It's just us, Us. So, there you go.
Yeah, and I remember the days Jim Johnson, especially during the Attitude Era, he was responsible for every single song, and he made every single song stand out. You think about Steve Austin, The Glass Shattering, The Rock, If You Smell What The Rock Is Cooking, The Nation of Domination. You look at The Undertaker, you look at all these iconic songs because he put passion into it. To me, Def Label is just, okay, let's make a song about a song. There's no real passion, there's no humanity to it.
It's just empty. It's soulless. I wouldn't be surprised. And, I'm a huge advocate for AI. AI is going to take over the world. I think we've had our time on this planet.
I've embraced it.
It almost sounds like he starts with like an AI track from Suno and then goes, all right, that's good enough. That's fine. And Rolling Golem hanging out with us over on the YouTube says he had some very strong words about Logan Paul. And I wanted to make sure I put this forward. Rolling Golem out here on the YouTube product is saying that Logan can't wrestle. He's a stunt man that needs people to lead him around by the nose in his matches. What do you think about that? Because I do have a strong opinion about that.
I think he's partially correct, like 90% correct. So there's reports that came out. So when Logan Paul has a pay-per-view or TV match, he gets flown out to an area. He gets shown what to do. He goes move by move by move. But if you look at his matches, if something goes wrong, doesn't go to plan, he kind of stumbles. He gets very awkward. And that's a major point of wrestling is improvising. So when you're not constantly doing this move, this move, this move, this move, and something happens and you have to pivot, then all of a sudden he doesn't know what to do, which I think that's a big, big problem there. That could be happening in the future too.
So I'm going to have to agree with you, but also disagree because in some ways, Logan Paul is an incredible athlete. He has great charisma, and from bell to bell, when he knows what he's doing and he knows what's coming up next, he is competent. He can take care of it. He can handle his business. Calling it in the ring, calling it on the fly, feeling the crowd, listening to what they're responding to, and adjusting accordingly. That is unfortunately one of the things that have been lost to time. I feel like a lot of people sometimes want to have everything spelled out for them, which is why, in my experience, when I'm able to, I love being able to just go, all right, these are the main bullet points we got to get across. We're going to fill in the blanks as we're out there. We're going to listen to the crowd. We're going to listen to each other, and we're going to see where the match takes us. So it does take a lot to it takes a lot to compose yourself. And after a while, it gets easier. But you're right. When something kind of goes sideways or something doesn't go according to what was talked about in the back, there is a little disconnect. Now, pulling back the curtain a little bit, you already know that sometimes referees will come down and talk to each one of the guys. They have somebody in the back with the entire list of things that they need to get done out there, and he can convey this information. One of my favorite things to do is to convey information with the ref. So if I'm hurt, for an example, or if I need to take a minute to catch my breath, which doesn't happen, I have pretty good cardio, I can always relay that information to the ref, to relay it to whoever else I need to get that information to. And all of that comes with, obviously, paying attention to what you're doing in the ring and paying attention to what the crowd's doing. So it's more than just going out there and doing the athleticism. There's a lot of moving parts that kind of come into play. And so I can't fault him for sometimes stumbling, especially when this is like literally his first couple of years in a WWE ring. And for what it's worth, I've definitely seen a lot worse out there.
And exactly, like, he's a natural heel, so I get that. Like, he plays that role perfectly. His charisma's there. He can talk. And I think that's the reason why they put him with Paul Heyman, to kind of show him what to do in those scenarios. Because Paul Heyman, he's done that with multiple wrestlers. Show them around. This is what you do in this scenario. Kind of like pick his brain on that. Oh, and ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest in the chat. We have Mr. PWR World Official.
Welcome home.
And he says, lore with that 1999 Walmart microphone sound today. And he spelled multiple words wrong.
Hey, I appreciate that. I do know you have an ear for audio quality. We've heard your tracks from Havo Killer to Raw Dog Log. I definitely do appreciate that constructive criticism, and I'll work harder to make your listening experience a little bit more pleasant in the future, because I know every episode of Smark Guys, you're going to pull up the tab, turn up the volume, and let us know exactly how you feel. Are you excited for WrestleMania 42?
Now, this is kind of weird. Is he in your chat right now?
Take a good long look over here. Negative. That's a big negative.
So,
we've got McBrew. We've got Banjo Friend. We have Ian Jomha's Rope. Marco's in the house. Wow. Honky Kong, I see you, pimp. Oh, my goodness. Rolling Golem in the ha. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, we're hot over here.
so it's
Ham.
Oh, go ahead.
Ham Maximus is in the hog. We got a lot of people coming through and hanging out. Thank you guys so much for making Smart Guys 3.0 a wildly successful stream each time we do it. Thank you.
Now, it's very weird that he goes, PWR, goes in the chat of the person he has blocked on every single platform just to talk, instead of the person he wants to talk to.
It's funny, too, because he has never been blocked on my end. He can come through and hang out if he wants to. We all know that this corner of the internet is hot. And,
you could be in both PWR.
Unless you say some wild shit like Drunk Driver does sometimes, we always have an open door free speech policy, so.
And PWR, don't be afraid in chat to say what you want about WrestleMania, about the wrestlers, about the storylines. We want to hear what you, original era dude, thinks about the matches. So go ahead, engage, tell us what you think, and then yeah, we'll see how that goes. But anyways,
We always
have
love opposing opinions. If we were just sitting here agreeing with each other, it'd make for a very boring stream. So let's keep it going. What's that second match coming up?
so the next match is against two big nasty bastards, which is Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. Jacob Fatu, of course, last year made his debut, won his match against LA Knight in the US Championship. Drew McIntyre is 5-6 at WrestleMania. Fatu was attacked backstage, no resolution, but believed it was Drew. He went off for dental surgery, returns to cost Cody Rhodes the WWE title in a cage match, and then Drew cost Fatu his Elimination Chamber qualifying match, and then cost Drew the title to Cody right back, and then Drew quit WWE but returned the same night to attack Fatu. There was supposed to be a match, but they ended up brawling around the arena, and this led to the unsanctioned match between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. How was the build-up for this one?
So I feel like I've seen this movie before because just last year, at the same time we first met PWR during WrestleMania season, Drew McIntyre also went on a tirade and quit the WWE only to come back the same night or the next week or something of the sort. I saw something online where somebody was like, didn't he do this last year? And I'll be damned if I didn't see the same thing happen last year and this year. So outside of that, I think everything worked out the way that it was supposed to. The unsanctioned match gives it a little bit of that extra spice that it needed. Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu can pull out all the stops. They can have a lot of smoke and mirrors. They can do a lot of cloak and dagger stuff. It should be a good romp. It shouldn't last too long. Just two big dudes beating the shit out of each other. I've got nothing wrong with this build up going into the match, and I am looking forward to this match as a fan.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I've noticed too, there's mirror matches. So you have Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre unsanctioned match, two big nasty bastards, night 1. Night 2, you got Brock versus Oba, which is two big nasty bastards wrestling each other. And then you got women matches that mirror each other. You got men's matches that mirror each other. Are they doing this on purpose, or is this something that they just like, okay, nobody will notice? Because there's a lot of similarities.
This is true, and I'm glad that you brought that up because there's actually a reason why you have like a big hoss match on one night of the card and then also another big hoss match on the second night of the card. You have to think of it as the entirety of the show. If you have two matches on the card that are very similar to each other, you're not going to get the response that you think you're going to get. Essentially, you want to make sure that you have variety across the entirety of the show. So that's why you're going to have a 6-man tag match. That's why you're going to have an unsanctioned match. That's why you're going to have a women's match. Pretty much you have to think that the entirety of the show is going to present different styles and flavors of professional wrestling. And just like we said earlier before on the show, pro wrestling can be anything. It could be silly like a Danhausen. It could be intense like a Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. It could be an athletic affair. It could be a storytelling affair. The fact that they are having this unsanctioned match between two big bruisers while also having a Brock Lesnar Oba Femi match on the second night, in this context, it makes more sense to have them across on different shows than have them on the same night.
Now, let me ask you this. Was it the right call to have Drew drop the title to Cody before Mania, or was it the right call to have Drew come into WrestleMania as champion?
So it sucks for Drew. I'm sure he would love to be the marquee name going into a big event like this. And some people would say that Drew McIntyre is nothing but a transitional champion. He's had multiple runs as champion, but they haven't been the showcases that I'm sure that he wishes it would be. But, you know, when you look at the record books, Drew McIntyre has been a 3-time WWE and heavyweight champion, which is nothing to sneeze at. So even in that slight, he's still doing very well for himself. If anything, this is going to solidify Jacob Fatu in his spot on the roster and his ascension to the main event, because we're looking towards the future here. Jacob Fatu has a lot more he has a lot more potential for future main events at WrestleMania, while Drew McIntyre works as a utility player to help people get to that next level. Nothing against Drew McIntyre. He always seems to be the bridesmaid and never the bride.
And now the next match, PWR is going to hate because it's a bunch of women. We have the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way match. Nia Jax and Lash Legend versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley and Bird Lady, as Danhausen calls her, versus the Bella Twins. We have Nia, WrestleMania 2-2, Charlotte, surprisingly, 4-3, Alexa 1-2, Bayley 2-3, Lyra 1-0, and then the Bellas 1-3. So this started out Charlotte teaming up with Alexa as frenemies, won tag titles at SummerSlam, started working as friends, started liking each other, and then Charlotte was pulled out of singles push to be in a tag team because all the heat she was getting being booed. She was trying to be a face after she won the Royal Rumble. This was meant to humanize and get people to cheer her, which worked because people love her now with Alexa. Up to this point, Charlotte was pushed hard in the women's main events, and the more someone's in the main events, the more people yearn for something fresh, and it potentially gets bored. Lash was called up the SmackDown team with Nia Jax. Damn, she is a hard hitter. I will say that.
Yes.
Bayley
Agreed.
and the Bird Lady challenged for the titles last year, but Bayley was attacked before the match, replaced by Becky Lynch. So this is a chance to redo last year's match and get the titles. They've been in this weird storyline where Bayley has an identity crisis, doesn't know who she is, the hugger, the role model, but then it was dropped. And the new thing, that they weren't booked and complained about it on camera, but then they started getting matches and wins recently. They've been using, I noticed this too, they've been using heel-like tactics to win, helping each other out as of late. And then the Bella Twins recently reunited at Royal Rumble. I gotta say this, I'm sorry if there's any Bella fans out there. Very underwhelming run by Nikki so far. Terrible in the ring. She doesn't hold up to the other women wrestlers. And then at one point, Nikki turned heel, but that was dropped when Brie returned to the Royal Rumble. How do you see this playing out in this Fatal 4-Way match?
So this is a situation where I think they're trying to get as many of the girls on the show as possible. And what better way to do that than by having the Fatal 4-Way tag match at WrestleMania? All of the Bayley, Valkyria stuff is really awkward. All of the Bella stuff is really awkward. And I don't think it's the writer's fault. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to putting together some sort of coherent story going into this match. I really do like the pairing of Nia Jax and Lash Legend. And just as Marco over on YouTube says, Lash Legend at the Royal Rumble was amazing. I am a fan. I do love the feats of strength that she puts on display. Nia Jax, to her credit, has been losing a lot of weight. She's a sweetheart of a human being and as a person. So it's difficult for me to boo her because I know that she's such a genuinely nice person. And I am a fan, out of all of this, is Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. You're right in saying that this pairing with Alexa Bliss has humanized her. My brief interaction with Charlotte Flair has been nothing but pleasant, and it's really cool to be able to see that part of her shine through on television now, because, you know, a lot of people are going to say, oh, she's Ric Flair's kid. She's not going to reach the heights that Ric Flair has done. And Ric Flair has said it himself, you know, Charlotte Flair is not my daughter. I am Charlotte Flair's father. I think I said that right. And I believe it. Charlotte Flair is a headline act. If you put her name on the marquee, people already know who she is. Alexa Bliss, I followed from NXT. She's an incredible talent. She knows exactly what she's doing in the ring, and I like their chances for this. They need to get a big win, a big WrestleMania moment. And when it comes to the Bella Twins, bro, obviously the nostalgia act is, a part of this, but it doesn't seem to be the big driving force between what's moving this forward. I'm personally a fan of Brie more so than Nikki. I feel like she's more competent in the ring. Perhaps that's because she's married to Daniel Bryan. But, the pairing, just like with the Usos, I feel like they're better together than on their own. So, if anything, this is just going to be a showcase so everybody can go out there and have a WrestleMania match. And I see Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss getting their WrestleMania moment and capturing the Women's Tag Team Championships.
Yeah, especially Nikki and Brie. Like, I agree with you about Brie. Like, she's a lot better than Nikki. And I can see that, especially Daniel Bryan possibly helping her out, teaching her, whatever. But they were also hired at an era from John Laurinaitis, who would look up a lingerie catalog and go, I like this person, I don't like that person. And with what we know about him now, it's it's very interesting that he chose that way. And he married
It was a different time.
yeah, he married the Bella's mother too, which is now divorced.
Oh my.
And yeah, I feel like Brie has more drive in her than Nikki. So I think this will be interesting. And the Charlotte thing, for years and years, I think it was like 3 or 4 years, it was either Charlotte, Sasha Banks, or Bayley in the main event. And then Ronda Rousey came around, and then Becky Lynch started stepping up. But for like that year or two, that was Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks month after month after month. People just got sick of that. So I'm glad that she got that stigma off of her, because she does seem like a nice person. So I'm really happy with her with that. But yeah, things were much different under a certain crazy old man. I'll just say that. So next, we have another match PWR is not going to like, and that is AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. This is a very, very weak build-up. So AJ comes into this Undertaker streak 2-0. Becky is 4-5. So this started as CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Then the both wives got into play. AJ was gone for around a decade. Barely shows up, even though Punk is going to complain the same thing about Roman. AJ made Becky tap out at WrestlePalooza and War Games, then beat her for the IC title. And since then, she's made 2 or 3 weeks of build-up. Or, sorry, she hasn't been there for like 2 or 3 weeks. Very weak build-up. I don't see this going very long. What do you think of this build-up? AJ Lee versus Becky.
So I have a soft spot in my heart for AJ Lee because of those abs of her, bro. I'm a huge fan of the midriff. So that is going to slant my bias a little bit. However, yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on this because AJ has not been there. And a very good point that you made, by the way, saying that CM Punk, her husband, is complaining that Roman is a part-time appearance when AJ, you can have an argument for that as well. So I never made that connection before, so I'm very I'm very glad that you pointed that out. It's going to be a good match. This is literally, I think, AJ Lee's second or third singles match one-on-one since she's come back. Now, when she did come back, it was a big to-do. Obviously, it was headline making news. And unfortunately, it just now, everything has kind of cooled off. And, I think the biggest contributing factor to that was that she hasn't been around. So she came back, but not really. She's only had a couple of limited appearances. And I wanted to point out something, and this is in regards to the build. They did this promo. It was at the very beginning of the setup of this match, a couple of Raws back. And they were emoting and they were acting like Looney Tunes characters. Like Becky Lynch was trying to act like she was schizo and bugging out and stuff like that. And I didn't see the entertainment value in it. I didn't understand what they were where they were coming from with this. I don't know what the idea that they were trying to convey with this, and it just doesn't seem, it just has stumbled all the way to this match. However, I could completely, eat my words when this match comes together and actually delivers. Becky Lynch, when it comes to big time matches, that was one of her catchphrases for a while. Big time Bex. When it comes to the action inside of the ring, she knows exactly what she needs to do, and she always brings the crowd in with her. One of the things that I want you to take notice of, and I want everybody in the chat here too, across my channels and Dashfire's channels, to notice. Watch a Becky Lynch match and take a shot or take a hit or do whatever you got to do. Every time Becky Lynch puts her hands and fingers in her mouth, bro, she does it every match, and it drives me crazy. I cannot watch a Becky Lynch match without thinking, okay, she's going to put her hand in her mouth. She's going to put her hand in her mouth, and I'll be damned if she doesn't do it every time she's out there.
So you know why she was overacting?
Go on.
So right before this feud, she started doing films. So she did the what's it? Happy Gilmore too. So she had coaches on there tell her to overact for the comedy. So she's still in that mindset when she comes back. It's like, okay, this is comedy. I have to overact. So she brings that into the promos. So that's why she looks like a Looney Tunes character.
Well, if that was what she was going for, then mission accomplished.
And then also, you mentioned this too. This is one of AJ's first single matches back. But not only that, this is her first ever singles match at WrestleMania. So,
wow,
the first one,
never thought
she
about that.
went against the entire SmackDown women's locker room in the Vicky Guerrero Invitational. And then the second one was a tag match with Paige versus the Bella Twins.
Man, shout out to Paige, one of my personal favorites, by the way.
Oh yeah, mine too, for many different reasons. And then next up, we have a very, very weird one. So this match changed multiple times. So we have Seth Rollins versus Gunther. Seth is 8-6 at WrestleMania. Gunther is 1-2, with one of those two being one I wish I could forget. But yeah. So do you know who the other person he lost to besides Jey Uso?
Damn, that's the only one I could think of because it just stinks. It lingers in my mind.
So I'll give you a hint. They were both for titles. Jey Uso was for the world title. The other one was for the Intercontinental title.
Sami Zayn.
There you go.
Wow.
The only time Gunther's lost at WrestleMania was when he lost the title. So
we got Rope over here, over on the Kick product, asking, and this is a real question, by the way, and I demand an answer of everybody here. Where is the denunciation of ass? Well, I mean, we out here speaking. You know what? Let's wait until we get to the Stephanie Valkyrie Liv Morgan match, and then we'll talk all about that ass.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Didn't mean to thumb you to the eye and shit cane you to the floor. Let's get back to Seth Rollins and Gunther.
It's okay. The ref was pushed to the side. I'm just gonna a breath here. Yeah. So we had originally this was supposed to be Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the world title. Then it got changed to Seth Rollins versus CM Punk until Seth got injured. Then it was supposed to be Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker till Braun Breaker got injured. Then it was changed to Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed until he got injured. And then Seth Rollins was revealed as the masked man, causing Vision to lose matches, attacked Paul Heyman multiple times. Restraining order from Paul Heyman led to him talking shit about Seth's kids and wife, and then got attacked by Seth. But then Paul Heyman had a plan. He had his number one client, Brock Lesnar, to defend him and face Seth at WrestleMania. But then the ruler came out, Oba Femi. And then they started brawling. All of a sudden, Paul Heyman's all alone. And then Gunther randomly starts attacking Seth and becomes his opponent at WrestleMania. Says Seth was ducking him as champion and wants to prove he is the best. Now this one part here is very interesting. Gunther says Paul owes him a big favor and says he will collect. Where is SummerSlam this year?
Where is SummerSlam this year?
Minneapolis.
Hmm.
Who
And
is
who?
Paul Heyman's client?
Interesting. And
So,
there has been a string of matches of the similar ilk these past couple of months and years.
so
Interesting.
there's been speculation because Brock himself said he only came back for money and said he's not going to be here for a very long time. So supposedly this could be his last WrestleMania, his retirement year, and Gunther has that favor and Gunther retires people. Could we possibly see that at SummerSlam?
That makes perfect sense. That makes business sense. I have a feeling that there's a non-zero chance it's going to happen. But just like you said, with all of the unfortunate accidents and injuries and events that has happened leading up to WrestleMania, you know, it's easy for us to sit here and say, oh, they should do it this way, they should do it that way. There's a lot of other things that come into play behind the scenes. It could be creative, it could be injuries, it could be disciplinary things, it could be timing. So many different ways this could go sideways. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed because this sounds like an absolute layup of a storyline. And if all of this unfortunate vision stuff kind of becomes the catalyst for this Gunter Brock Lesnar confrontation, then this could be an opportunity where it's not the journey, it's the destination.
And can you imagine Gunther on his wrestling resume, retired John Cena, AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar, Goldberg? That is like Mount Rushmore right there for some people.
All-star lineup.
Yeah.
All-star lineup. Yep. And they're really putting all their chips. They're going all in on Gunter. And I couldn't think of a better talent to do that with because he is legitimate. You know, he's unlike anything else you've seen out there and very well deserved. I mean, when he was tearing it up in the indies, now putting to rest all of our childhood heroes, they're really putting a lot of stock and equity into Gunter, and I'm here for it. I love the presentation. I love how he's no nonsense, and I even love his little digs. He kind of reminds me of I keep coming back to it, and I'm sorry if I'm trailing off, but I have to put this in here. Bret Hart, the quintessential hater out there. I remember Gunter had this promo before he retired Goldberg, and he said that Bret Hart was his favorite wrestler.
Oh yeah, because he said something like, "You're my second favorite wrestler after Bill Goldberg."
Yeah.
And you can tell a huge difference between Gunther under Vince McMahon and Gunther under Triple H. So Gunther had an interview where he talked about the differences, and he said Vince hated him after 1 week. So he did all that great work in NXT UK, came to the main roster, and Vince hated him and wanted to job him out. But then after Triple H took over, he said Triple H saved him, his career, the business, everything. And look at him since then.
Agreed. Yeah, and it's crazy because you could be one of the best wrestlers in the world. You can have a really good connection with the fans. You can have all the necessary parts in order to become a huge sensation in professional wrestling, but all it comes down to is the whims of one person, whether it be, Vince McMahon, or whether it be Triple H or a Tony Khan or any other promoter that has the pencil. It's all down to who likes you and who doesn't like you. So it's always good business to be personable and do good business with everybody.
Yeah, just make sure the promoter doesn't shit on your head. Just make sure that,
Oh,
yeah.
yikes. Yeah.
So who do you got in Seth Rollins versus Gunther?
So I think Gunter needs to win this one because he can't put out AJ, Goldberg, John Cena only to lose to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins got the big main event WrestleMania shine last year. They really put the show together around him and his group with the vision. Unfortunately, the injury bug kind of took everybody out and left him high and dry. This is merely just to give these two top stars something to do on the show. I'm sure they're not going to complain about that because a lot of the times this works in the other direction. I totally see Gunter taking this. There's no reason for Seth Rollins to win unless there's going to be some shenanigans, unless there's going to be something that they set up for maybe a backlash or something further down the road. Again, what you said, I think this is just a set piece to set the stage for SummerSlam, for the real stuff to happen. So I'm gonna go with Gunter.
Okay, so now we get to another match PWR is going to hate. We have Big Booty Judy, Stephanie Vacour versus Liv Morgan. And I like Stephanie as a performer. I think she's a great wrestler, amazing person. I think she's really nice. But it's one of those women's like, God damn, I'm just saying. So obviously this
Agreed.
is Stephanie's debut at WrestleMania. Now, this is a very interesting stat. I found this out. What do you think Liv Morgan's record at WrestleMania is? Remember, she's been there for a long time.
Jesus, it's crazy to think that. Brother, I couldn't even tell you. I feel like she's lost. I feel like she's had a losing streak in WrestleMania. Am I wrong?
You are. She comes in at 1-6.
Yikes, close.
And the only person she beat was Natalya. Which Natalya's,
Wow,
I love
Natty.
Natalya.
She's great. However, and let me just interject something real quick. This like Natty, like this fighter persona that she's doing now, like she's a badass. Like she's not just like a heart dungeon
Low-key
student
legend?
anymore. Yeah, the low-key legend. Like I love that idea. I love that I just love that presentation. However, she did this AI generated chat GPT image where she was like pissing on the grave of an opponent or something. But bro, she was standing up and pissing on this grave. Like look, we don't do DSP, shit scat conversations. We don't piss in buckets, but I had to put that out there because I saw this on the timeline. I was like, oh, this must have been a meme. Somebody must have made fun of her. No, this was from her own Instagram. Natty Neihart acting like she's pissing on a grave, but standing up, acting like she's got something back up there.
I love the Hart family so much. I'm just going to say that. Okay, so
Facts, true.
Liv had a shoulder injury after coming back from filming a movie. Returns at Royal Rumble winning it, including eliminate Raquel. Cost Raquel the title multiple times, teased tension, but then it was dropped like it never happened. There's also a storyline where Roxanne was potentially trying to get Dom, but it was also dropped, now saying Liv is mentoring Roxanne. Liv chooses to face Stephanie at WrestleMania. And then this is where it goes off the rails, goes into Jerry Springer trash TV. Stephanie starts speaking Spanish to Liv, and Dom has to translate. And then Stephanie starts insulting Dom, saying, yeah, he's trying to say he's a little bitch. They start trash talking each other's moms, calling each other sluts and whores. Starts to get physically attacking each other every week going forward. And then the moment that everyone will be talking about, Stephanie attacks Liv from behind, who knocked into Roxanne, causing a legit possible concussion issue as their heads smacked together hard. And it caused Liv and Roxanne to have a huge tennis ball shaped bruises on their foreheads. And then, the worst thing though, the worst thing ever. Liv comes out with a new music video. Apparently this is the new entrance music. And I'm sorry, Def Label again. Some of the worst AI auto-tune shit I've ever heard.
It sucks.
What do you think about this build-up?
So I am a huge fan of Stephanie Valkyr. Her body of work is incredible, respectfully, politely. And Liv Morgan, I've watched ever since her days in NXT. It's awesome to see how far she's come. Her spot in the Judgment Day has really catapulted her to superstardom. I mean, she's even in Fortnite now alongside Stone Cold Steve Austin. So that just goes to show the trajectory that Liv Morgan's career has taken. Winning the Royal Rumble, going on to having a marquee match at WrestleMania. I feel like that this is going to be Stephanie's time. She's coming in as champion. She needs to have a definitive win over an established name. She is the champion. I feel like Liv could be fine without being champion. There could be some Judgment Day shenanigans. Roxanne could possibly have a role in it. I feel like that this isn't going to be a one-on-one affair. I feel like there's going to be more than one element involved. To your point, they did have something with Roxanne there, but it was kind of thrown to the wayside. If I don't see this, I see this maybe building into something else later on for another show, perhaps Backlash or maybe another international show. It seems like it seems like this is going to be Stephanie's match to win. So I have a bias myself when it comes to Stephanie Valkyr and that accent of hers. So I'm going to say still women's world champion Stephanie Valkyr.
Yeah, so one thing I want to point out too is when they butted heads, they were Liv was asking Roxanne about Finn, who just got kicked out. And Finn brought Roxanne in and she was kind of like stalling, like she didn't know what to say. And it makes me wonder when you talk about the interference, is Roxanne going to cost or help Liv Morgan here? Because they could go in a way where she's on Team Finn or she's against Team Finn. So there's open-ended there.
That could be the X factor. That's the dark horse in this story. So whatever she decides to do, it does seem like that Roxanne's going to play a part in this match for sure.
And now we get to the end of night one. One of the worst storylines ever. One of the worst build-ups. Because it's not even about the two wrestlers. So we have undisputed WWE Championship match. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton with Pat McAfee. We have Cody coming in WrestleMania record 3-8. Randy 8-11. This is one of the most confusing stories. Very weird. So all they had to do was talk about Randy and Cody and their history. They have 20 years of history, from Randy being Cody's first match in WWE, Randy mentoring Cody in the Legacy stable. But then, there was a mystery caller who was influencing Randy's mind and convinced him to turn on Cody. Randy attacked Cody at the contract signing, leaving him bloody. Multiple chair shots and steel steps. Randy would then tease that the mystery caller would shock Cody on a personal level. The mystery person revealed was Pat McAfee, so I don't know any personal level between Cody and Pat. But then Pat goes on to say, Randy is saving the business by making him the champion. Says the fans like him of the Attitude Era have been left behind for the garbage that is today. Now keep in mind, for the past few years, he's been yeeting and dancing whenever wrestlers come out. He's been saying how great it is, but now all of a sudden, it's garbage. And also, I want to point out, Randy is from the Ruthless Aggression era, but he will bring back the Attitude Era. And there was reports that Ari Emanuel, who's head of TKO, he's in charge of WWE and UFC, he wants Pat to be this generation's Sylvester Stallone. Whatever that means. Randy then turns on Jelly Roll, who then turns to back up Cody. GM Nick Aldis says there was a call from above, no one can touch Pat. The questions are The Rock, Triple H, Ari. And then Cody gets sent out to do a work shoot promo on TKO and Pat, possibly setting up a TKO versus Team Triple H. And then apparently there's supposedly problems behind the scenes in real life between The Rock and Triple H, and there's a power struggle as they both hate each other from the past. Pat starts working and starts shooting on Punk as well, saying he's lowering ticket prices just for one night because Randy is in the main event. Which is weird, because CM Punk cut a promo saying the prices were high and needed to be lowered. But Pat said that people aren't willing to pay Punk to wrestle. That's why tickets are not selling. But then says he got the ticket price lowered for Randy's night. And I just have one line right here. The last line in my notes, dog shit build. What do you say, Lore?
Oof. I agree 100%. They had a built-in established story spanning over 10 years. You could have had the entirety of this feud based off of that. You have the legacy. You could implement some new things. I had somebody on the internet say something along the lines of, in a multiverse version of this storyline, you would have had Randy Orton dragging Brandy Rhodes by the hair out of the bus and threatening to give her an RKO into the ocean or something like that. And just everything was there, for a can't miss, can't screw up main event championship match. And this inclusion of Pat McAfee, I understand the idea of it. They want to have the mainstream star power of a Pat McAfee to bring in more people to get more eyes on that product. Unfortunately, when it comes to the business side of things, it's not for wrestling fans. It's for the casual. It's for the casual fan. And they're just giving us too many mixed signals. They're saying the Attitude Era was the real true era. They're saying that the current product sucks. That right there reeks of the 2000s WCW, when you had Vince Russo and his Crash TV antics, constantly people going out there and cutting real life promos talking about how everything is shit and how you shouldn't watch. Why would I watch a product? Why would I watch something that the people on the show are telling me is not good? You're just telling me I'm wasting my time. And that's what I feel like when it comes to this feud. It feels like I'm wasting my time. They already had something that they could have drawn from, and they decided to add this extra element that made absolutely no sense. Now, my theory here is that they were actually going to pull the trigger and bring back Vince McMahon. He was going to be the one that was calling Randy Orton, and that he was going to be one of the front-facing figures in taking back TKO. And unfortunately, a lot more Vince McMahon information came out recently, and perhaps they decided to pivot and they went with Pat McAfee. Now, the internet also said that Pat McAfee didn't even want to be a part of this. But I mean, fuck. I'm sorry, didn't mean to cuss. I'm going to modify my language here. If you got the phone call, Dash, if y'all here in the chat, Marco, Daft, Rope, if y'all got the call from TKO and said, hey, we're going to pay you a ridiculous amount of money to be a part of the main event of WrestleMania, would you take that bag or would you fumble it? I know I would. And you know what? I'd be so stinking rich, it wouldn't matter what the internet thought. And to that point, I know that Nick Khan actually made some sort of statement saying that people that complain about wrestling on X are a silent or a quiet, or what is the saying? A noisy, a minority, a noisy minority. Yeah, something that DSP would say. Yeah. Like he doesn't make business decisions based off of what people armchair book in their own heads, which I can respect and which I get. But to that end, keep that conversation in the offices and don't have your talent go out on the microphone with all the branding around you and say, this product sucks. I was hot for this match. I was really interested in seeing what the dynamic would be going into this match, but WWE unfortunately fumbled.
And also, it's not Pat's fault. Well, it kind of is, but it's not, like 90% it's not his fault, because like you said, anyone that said, hey, here's this bag of money, you want to do this, they're going to take it. So I'm not going to blame him for taking the bag. It's the people that made this choice that's the problem. And not only that, they had a built-in thing for like 2 years. So every time Cody would be in the back with Randy Orton, Randy would be staring at the title, almost like he's waiting to strike. They could have just did that. And not only that, my perfect scenario, unfortunately the timing was unfortunate. Ted DiBiase Jr. just got found not guilty. So can you imagine if he was the mystery caller?
Free my boy.
And then you got the legacy stuff too going on.
You know what? Maybe they'll do a little. Well, why not? I mean, it's convoluted enough as it is. They could bring him in for one night only for the main event of WrestleMania. Ted DiBiase coming back, baby.
And then you got like what, 10 years later, the members of Legacy in the ring at the same time. It'd be amazing.
That would be a WrestleMania moment for sure. Move over, John Cena proposing to Nikki Bella.
Oh,
We
that
got
worked
a
out
new
really well. That
WrestleMania
aged very well. Just like Macho Man and Elizabeth. Same thing, really.
This is true. So who do you got in this main event match for the undisputed WWE Championship on night one? Who do you got? Cody Rhodes, the current champion, or the Viper, Randy Orton with Pat McAfee?
So I'm going to make my picks at the end, but for this match here, I'm going to pick Randy Orton because
There you go.
Cody winning doesn't really further the story. It just drags on. But if you have Randy winning it, Cody is better at chasing the title than being the champion. And then
The money is in the chase.
Yeah, you have Pat saying, "See, I told you, we're bringing it back," and all of a sudden, they're the spotlight again. Because some people are getting sick of Cody being in the spotlight over and over and over. They want something new. And if you notice, who Pat is trying to intimidate, like, well, not intimidate, but try to be like.
Impersonate, yeah.
Yeah, so when he says, "Randy," he's trying to be like Paul Heyman.
I'm also getting a little bit of The Rock in that. Sometimes he does delve into The Rock / LA Knight territory, in my opinion.
Could be an Easter egg for who's in charge of the mystery man. Because you never know. It said it came from above.
Stranger things have happened.
So we are now on night 2, Sunday, and we have the Intercontinental Championship match. We have Penta, the champion, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. So we have 3 people in this match making their debut. We have Penta going in WrestleMania debut, or not debut, but WrestleMania record 0-1. He lost last year Intercontinental Championship. Javon Evans, who basically, I love this guy. This guy is amazing.
Great.
Making his debut. Dragon Lee, I'm surprised, making his debut at WrestleMania. And then JD making his debut. Rusev, 0-3 at WrestleMania. And then we have the legendary, one of the GOATs, Rey Mysterio. Take a guess at his record.
Oh my God. Well, I do know he beat JBL that one WrestleMania. The other times, it's all a blur. And actually, he defeated Randy Orton and, oh my God, I'm drawing an effing blank here.
What do you think, chat? What
He's
is
won
Rey
it-
Mysterio's record?
He's definitely won at least 2, guys. Help me out, y'all. Help me out. I've taken too many shots to the dome. Too
I'll
many
give you the
unprotected
total
chair
amount
shots.
of matches he's had. He's had 12 matches at WrestleMania.
Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna just say 2 wins and 10 losses.
So Rey Mysterio, the GOAT, is 6-6.
Whoa.
So if he loses this match,
Wow.
he'll have a losing record. If he wins the match, he'll have a positive record and potentially be in his last WrestleMania because you never know what's going to happen.
This is true. And I was there for Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio in SoFi. That was awesome. I think I was. I mean, I was a little high drinking my energy drink, THC infused drink. So maybe I dreamed it up. Who knows?
So we go into this. Penta beat Dom for the IC title after being cursed by Danhausen. Javon got called up from NXT, feuded with New Day because he refused to join them. Dragon Lee feuded with Gunther, even having his mask ripped off. JD is the Judgment Day rep to go after IC title after Dom lost it. Rusev returned to WWE from AEW, but nothing really going on with him. He's just kind of floating. So there's no real storylines with him. And of course, we got the GOAT, Rey Mysterio, who Dom is not happy about this, says he should not have it, and he's going to do something about it, which kind of hints at things. Because remember, Dom also has a match tonight too, but the ladder match, I believe, goes on first. So how do you see this going?
So this is going to be a car crash, a stunt show, and I'm here for it. All of these talents have incredible talent. All of them have something to prove. Um, it's going to be insane. And if they're kicking off night 2 with this Intercontinental Championship ladder match, then I couldn't think of a better way to do it, because no matter what, you're going to have fireworks. It's not going to make sense. It's going to be high flying. It's going to be hard hitting. All I'm going to do is sit back and enjoy myself, because these guys, especially with everybody showing up as their first WrestleMania, they're going to want to plant their flag, and they're going to want to make an impact, and they're going to want to make the highlight reel. So I see a lot of good things happening for this match. And to have Rusev in the mix as well, it's going to be a perfect addition to complement the high flyers like Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio and Javon Evans and Penta. So, I mean, essentially, you're going to get a classic WCW cruiserweight match from back in the day, and Rusev sprinkled in just to add a little bit of a strong foundation for all of them to jump on. And if I might say, Rusev actually probably is the winner of all time when it comes to WrestleMania moments, because rumors and scuttlebutt, if they're to be true, Rusev happened to sample the thrills of his then wife Lana in the tank before he had his match with John Cena that won WrestleMania.
Oh, did you see they're back together now?
Oh, well, good for them.
They're actually trying to have a kid, I think, now too.
Well, I mean, if he comes out in another tank, they might have
little baby
the
tank.
opportunity to do it. This is WrestleMania.
So next up, the match I'm most looking forward to. Two big nasty bastards coming in. And this, you can feel the energy just when they stand in front of each other. Of course, I'm talking about Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar. Oba, of course, this is his debut. He was just in NXT right before Royal Rumble too, by the way. Brock, WrestleMania record, 5-6. So he actually has a losing record.
Wow.
So Oba got called up from NXT. Strong Rumble offering. He just dominated a lot of people, including Brock. Had a showdown with him, and everybody was on their feet. They were clapping, they were cheering, they wanted to see these big bastards just go at it. But something weird happened. Brock announced an open invitation for WrestleMania, which got dropped. Of course, we talked about Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman and all their stuff, and then Brock came down, then Oba came down, and then two big bastards fighting like crazy every week, train wrecks everywhere. Most of the time, Oba's getting over on Brock. Every single week, almost. And you can tell Brock likes Oba. The amount of energy and investment he has put in this. Even telling Oba one time, put your foot on my chest so you look more dominant. Now, the question is, does Brock put over Oba Femi?
Man, for watching pay-per-views and lead-ups to pay-per-views for the majority of my life, usually the thing of it goes, if you have a lot of momentum going into the show, there's a good chance that you're not going to win the match. So when I see Oba Femi literally getting the upper hand on Brock Lesnar for pretty much the entirety of this feud going into WrestleMania, part of me thinks that Brock's going to get the win here. Obviously, he needs to have an established win going into a match with Gunter in order for it to mean a little bit more. But in that same thought process, you could think John Cena also put over Austin Theory at WrestleMania at SoFi when WrestleMania went Hollywood before he went on his retirement tour and then all of that. So if you want to invest in the future, obviously you want to go with Oba Femi, but there's been some discussion on online circles about how Brock and Paul Heyman are trying to vie to get Brock Lesnar some wins under his belt before he goes out the door. But then all of this kind of goes back to, if it's on the internet, it can't really be true. So wrestling journalists and wrestling journalism and journalism altogether doesn't really have the most sterling reputation when it comes to what is actually real and what is actually happening. So the aura farming between the two, absolutely off the charts. This is the type of WrestleMania match that, will fit the bill no matter what. You got two big bastards brawling and beating the shit out of each other. I'm here for it. The build was great. This alone would be worth the price of admission when it comes to WrestleMania for sure.
Okay, so next up we have another NXT debut at WrestleMania. United States Championship match. Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. Sami Zayn is 2-5. I just gotta say this. Trick Williams, he has money written all over him. He is good in every single category I've seen. Like, this guy, he's gonna be a multi-WrestleMania main eventer. He's gonna be a multi-world champion as long as he keeps his head up. Because I can see he has so much going for him right now too.
Superstar.
And so Sammy has been on a roller coaster ride in the past year. He would gain momentum, but then fail to win the WWE title, including against Seth and Drew. But then you start seeing a more aggressive side to Sammy, possibly hinting at a heel turn. Trick got called up from NXT, already looks like a main eventer. And I said, as long as he doesn't have a huge ego, he's going to go very far. Trick laughs at Sammy losing recently, which causes to fire up Sammy. Sammy then beats Carmelo Hayes, who I also like him too, to win the US Championship. And then, of course, we have to have our celebrity involvement. We have Little Yachty with Trick. And did you see what happened earlier today?
There was a dust up. I think one of the Usos snatched up somebody from a show, but I don't think that's what we're talking about.
No. So Little Yachty and Trick dropped a diss track on Sammy called the Gingerbread Man.
Oh no, who drops diss tracks? Who does that in this modern era?
I know.
Who drops diss tracks in 2026?
But that was funny right before WrestleMania. So
Love it.
how
I'm
do you
gonna have
see-
to check that out.
Yeah, how do you see this match going?
So it's interesting. Sami Zayn is pretty much a beloved babyface, and he has a lot of equity in his name now. He is a draw. He is a big name in the WWE, which is so weird. The underdog from the underground has really established himself as a legitimate name on the WWE roster. And Trick Williams, I'm telling you, just like what you were saying, he's a mega star. He's going to be main eventing WrestleMania in no time. He has all the tools. He has all the ingredients that are needed in order to become a huge star. There's crossover appeal there. And of course, with Booker T's blessing, that whoop that Trick, the crowd loves him. His presentation is awesome. And then the bell rings. Trick is a awesome presence, but when it comes to the in-ring bell to bell, I couldn't think of a better opponent for him than Sami Zayn, because he could literally take Trick by the hand and walk him through his first WrestleMania match, and hopefully he learned something along the way. This is a match for Trick Williams to win. He's going to get that big WrestleMania highlight with him raising the United States Championship over his head. I feel like the subtraction or the exclusion of Carmelo Hayes is unfortunate. He was carrying that United States Championship for a long time, having great matches with Dragunov. I wish that they also had a part in this, but I don't see it really happening. This is going to just be a straight up Trick Williams showcase.
Yeah, it's going to be a good match. I don't see how that could ever be a bad match. And speaking...
And the Little Yachty, I'm
yeah.
sorry,
Go ahead.
the Little Yachty inclusion, I think that is the correct amount of star power that you need in order to add a little bit extra to it. And to Yachty's credit, he says that he wants to really put in the work to not be a pedestrian when it comes to being a WWE superstar. He seems like he really wants to do it the right way. And so if he really puts his heart and his mind into it, then I have no problem with his inclusion in this as well.
Yeah, like you said, I Show Speed, good use of a celebrity. Have you seen Sexy Red in NXT?
Oh, I have, and brother, I'm.
So she made a
I
statement.
don't get it, man.
Yeah, she made a statement the other day, and someone asked her, "Oh, are you going to get in the ring?" And she said, oh, I say I want in the ring, but they say I want training first. Like it with broken English all over the place, by the way. But basically,
Yeah,
she was saying that, oh, they won't let me in the ring unless I train, which that's the whole point of it, so you don't hurt yourself or someone
exactly.
else. But you can tell, like, if you look at Little Yachty, you look at I Show Speed, and then you look at Sexy Red, one of those doesn't fit in there.
Yeah, I'd rather not look at Sexy Red, and it's crazy too because she's always showing up on NXT. I think her and Shawn Michaels. I I saw this on the internet somewhere. Sexy Red was talking about how Shawn Michaels told her that the Corey Feldman of his day is different than the Corey Feldman of today, and they kind of bonded over their love of Corey Feldman.
Well, apparently that's a big meme with them. So you know how Shawn Michaels used to dance? Well, you saw PWR dancing like him back in like
Mhm.
97, 98. So people are
Yeah.
now taking those videos and putting Sexy's Red, like he want to hang with a bad bitch or whatever. And he's like dancing to the music in that.
Oh no, I gotta check these things out. Oh my god.
And speaking of a bad bitch, we have Dominic Mysterio versus the Demon Finn Balor. Finn comes in
Wow.
WrestleMania record 1-2. Dominic 1-3. So this has been a long, long time in the making. Finn was the fourth member of Judgment Day. It started with Edge, then Damian, then Rhea. And then as soon as Finn joined the Judgment Day, they turned on Edge. Then they convinced Dom to turn on his dad and join Judgment Day. And then Finn said he started to mentor Dom and said he is the one to make Dom turn on Rhea and go with Liv. I have a question for you. Who is Dom better with, Liv or Rhea? Who would you prefer?
So, if you asked me last year, I would have said Rhea, but now I can't think of Dominic without Liv. And it's crazy to think how far Dominic Mysterio has come in such a short period of time. So, it's crazy how I don't even think of Dominic or Liv as members of the Judgment Day. I just see them as their own entities, even though they do get flanked by Roxanne and Raquel Rodriguez. It just goes to show the star power that Dominic Mysterio has, to where I don't even think about the Judgment Day when I see him come out.
Yeah, both him and Liv were doing an interview too, and they're both saying how they hate the Judgment Day music, they hate their own music, and then all of a sudden Liv gets new music, and then maybe Dominic one day. But it was
Here's
funny because I
hoping.
was watching a different company, and a young Dominic Mysterio shows up. Did you know that Dominic
Really?
Mysterio was in Lucha Underground?
Are you kidding me? I love Lucha Underground, and I plan on doing a Lucha Underground watch party over on Kick. So what?
So
I'm
apparently,
gonna have to.
when Rey Mysterio was in Lucha Underground, one of the people that came to help him was Dominic Mysterio when he first started training.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah. So Dominic gets cursed by Danhausen, lose the IC title, Finn gets kicked out. Now the question is, how far does this curse go? Because all he has left now is Liv. And if you notice, Liv's been a little bit more attitude-ish. She's a little bit more rude, a little bit more aggressive. It's almost like she's a different person. So could be looking at the end of Liv and Dom, and then the rest of Judgment Day turns on Finn as well, except possibly Roxanne, who was injured at the time, so she wasn't on TV. But then Dominic almost craps his pants because the demon character comes back as his supernatural alter ego. So we are not getting Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. We are getting the demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. This has been a long time coming. What do you think of the build-up of this?
Well, before I get into my thoughts, I want to let everybody know that Trump signed my Epstein pass, just gifted a sub over on the Kick product. Thank you so much. Trump signed my Epstein pass, and congratulations. Hamicus Maximus, awesome names all around. Thank you so much for making Kick the preferred platform for this production. Now, when it comes to this buildup going into this match, I really wish that they held off on announcing that it was going to be the Demon. If anything, I wish they kind of alluded to it, maybe hinted to it, give people like some hype. Is he not going to bring the demon out? Um, Unfortunately, we have the demon Finn Balor as a puppet in AAA sometimes. So the legitimacy of him bringing the demon character back has kind of softened, but I can't wait to see the production. I can't wait to see a Demon Finn Balor entrance. I can't wait to see this match. It has an established story. I feel like Dominic Mysterio kicking Finn Balor out of the Judgment Day is just the first part of completely dissolving the Judgment Day. I think Dominic and Liv are going to move forward together as their own thing. And I see this as a vehicle to kind of put the Judgment Day in the rearview mirror.
Now, one thing that bothers me about the Demon too is he has the exact same moveset as Finn Balor. So the look is the same. Well, the look is different, I should say. The entrance is different, but when he gets in the ring, the bell rings, it's Finn Balor. So should he do something different as the Demon compared to Finn Balor?
So, great question. And I'm going to actually tell everybody about Leo Rush, who's been doing this new character on Ring of Honor television right now. He's kind of doing a more feral, more animalistic type character. He's not really doing traditional wrestling in his matches. He's running on all fours. He's doing something completely different. So to that end, if he were to bring the Demon out and have a match with Dominic Mysterio, I would say take notes from Leo. That would be the way I would have the Demon presented in a WWE ring. I wouldn't have him do arm locks and rest holds and stuff like that. I would have him scrap and scratch and claw and be more animalistic, tap into something a little bit more fierce and, break away from the traditional pro wrestler style. Maybe do something completely different, but that's just me.
Yeah, so next, speaking of Dominic's second sloppy seconds, we have WWE Women's Championship match, Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. And to me, this could be either very good or very, very bad. We have Jade with the Undertaker streak 2-0. We have Rhea 3-2. So this is very similar to Charlotte, where Rhea was taken out the world title picture after feuding with Liv Morgan, put into a tag team with Io Sky. They won the tag team titles, but then something really weird happened after the Royal Rumble. Jade and Rhea started feuding with each other on Twitter, which kind of blurred the lines, but we weren't sure if it was real or not. So Jade insinuated that Rhea was using political influence and might be doing something romantic going on backstage with one of the higher-ups. Rhea came back saying how Jade doesn't know how to work or wrestle and how green she was. And it seemed a little too real, as it was never brought up on TV, not even hinted at. Usually if there's something going on that's like work, they'll hint at it on TV. No hint at all. And then other women wrestlers backed up Rhea on Instagram and Twitter. Heels and faces, and some that are heels but actually friends with Rhea, such as Nia Jax and Chelsea Green, backed up Rhea. But the reason I say this could be real is because right after that, all the tweets got deleted. It's almost like they didn't want it up there. Maybe someone higher up said, "Hey guys, you better start deleting those." And then
the old tweet and delete.
Yeah. They had their first face-off in the ring with a dual promo. Jade just saying something generic like, "She is that bitch." Rhea comes back saying Jade's body is built for show. Her body was meant to fight. Then, it was
We're talking about each other's bodies now. Okay, I'll stop. Hold on.
Okay, who's got the penis up for these dudes? Where's PWR at?
It's already there, brother.
I think when we started talking about women, he left. What a shock. And then Beef had a Mission. Oh, by the way, Mission. I love Mission. Oh, I love me some Mission. Joined with Jade Cargill and would beat down Rhea and Io Sky. And it feels like they had to compensate Jade being bad in the ring. Like, she has improved. Don't get me wrong. She is better than when she started. but it seems like the time and investment, she's not improving as much as she should in a certain amount of time. And when you're the champion, there's a certain amount you have to give out there because her movements and wrestling very awkward at times. There'll be times I think she was wrestling Tiffany Stratton, and Tiffany's going to the top and she's just standing there, just looking, not knowing what to do. Or she would body slam Tiffany and just walk around the ring like she's thinking about what to do. And then Rhea starts taking a BFAB and Mission backstage to even the odds. So do you think this will be a good match? Or do you think this will be a train wreck bad match?
So it's going to be pretty to look at because of both of the participants involved, Jade and Rhea. If you put their visages on a poster or on a billboard, people are going to stop. People are going to look politely and respectfully, of course. Jade is unfortunately not as competent as some people would hope her to be. Rhea is I can't say enough good things about her. She's a great she has a great look. She's great in the ring. I feel like when the lights are on bright, she can deliver. However, I've seen enough big shows with Jade on it to know that it's going to be you know what? I'm going to remain optimistic. I'm going to hope that Jade brings it and comes and works her way up to the level of a Rhea Ripley who has been there before. I'm going to remain optimistic and see that if they put in enough time, you know, to really make this thing work, then it'll be fine. The expectations going into it, however, obviously everybody's going to be selling Jade Cargill short, but with the addition of her new henchwomen, you know, and I'm also a huge Mia Yim fan, by the way, Michin. She came up at around the same time I did in the local areas. So to be able to see her, you know, do her thing on the world stage is like awesome to see. So, marquee match for sure. I see this being a Rhea Ripley highlight. She's going to showcase what she can do out there. And, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to remain optimistic. I'm going to say that Jade will hold up her side of the equation. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Now, the other question is, so you're going to have BFAB and Mission there. Are we going to see Io Sky and are we going to see Asuka? Because they've been feuded and apparently they were supposed to be on this card, but they got cut from it.
Now, that's a good question, and I never actually really thought about that, and maybe that's why they were omitted from having a match, because maybe they'll have a presence in this match. It's a damn shame. Io Sky is legitimately one of the best, not just women wrestlers, and I said this on the last episode. She is legitimately one of the best wrestlers on the entire WWE roster, male or female. And the fact that she doesn't have a marquee match at WrestleMania is a crime. However, now that you do mention this, having all of these extra elements ringside and with Michin and all that, there could be an opportunity for them to go out there. Asuka, Io Sky, Kairi Sane, perhaps. I don't know where they'll slot her in, but now that you do mention that, I could see something like that happening so that it doesn't have to just be a full focus on Jade and Rhea. Everybody can get a little bit of that action as well at the same time.
Now, let's fantasy book this right here. So let's say you have BFAB and you have Mission come out there. Io Sky goes out there to try and help, gets attacked by Asuka. So now it's BFAB, Mission, and Asuka, Rhea and Io. What if we see the return of Bianca Belair?
Wow, her finger is still all messed up. Incredible to think that something that innocuous would cause such a problem. That would be a pop. That would definitely be a moment for sure.
Yeah, so now we get to the main event. One of the most confusing, who's the heel, who's the face? Are they both faces? Are they both heels? Are they tweeners? We have World Heavyweight Championship match. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Punk comes in WrestleMania record 3-5. Roman comes in WrestleMania record 9-4.
Wow.
So, like I said, first thought looking back at this, who's the heel, who's the face? So Punk gets the crowd pumped up and says he's positive to them, gets cheap pop by saying the locals' names, talks about respecting the business and earning his way there, but then starts talking about Roman's dead father and being disrespectful. He would later go on to apologize. He'd be disrespectful to the Usos, which would result in him getting knocked out by Jimmy. And then Roman starts talking positively to the audience as a face, starts talking about how Punk left and he became the big dog. Rumors were that after Punk mentioned his dead dad, the next week, Roman was supposed to mention Punk's dead dog, but it was dropped. Roman brags about being born in a famous family. The Usos and Roman triple team Punk, including from behind, which is a heel thing. Things got personal with Roman referred to as Joe and Punk as Phil. Punk talks how Roman got his job because of his family and mentions how Roman sucked at football.
Huh.
And then now is the time for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, this is a very interesting thing because if you go back 2 years, the year that Cody Rhodes won the title for Roman Reigns, he told Cody before he made his decision, because it was supposed to be Roman and The Rock. And Cody comes in and Roman says to him at the press conference, go to Seth, go fight for the belt that nobody could beat before, so they created a new one. And said it was a consolation prize because nobody could get the real thing. But now, Roman is going after that consolation prize, which he said was secondary to the WWE Championship. So how do you see this match being played out?
So I don't know if you've noticed, I'm sure everybody here has across both your channels and my channels, but the repeating thing that I keep hearing and seeing and noticing is that they'll have a planned direction and then they'll just drop it. It's really difficult to screw up. I'm the good guy, you're the bad guy. And they're blurring the lines here. CM Punk going really low and talking about dead relatives. And then Roman Reigns very recently, in fact, telling CM Punk that he's like also and saying shit like he's an old man. I don't know. When I was brought up, the way I was taught was you don't say that the person that you're wrestling is old. You don't say that the person that you're wrestling or facing is over the hill or can't cut it or anything like that. You want to big up your opponent so that when you beat them, you've beaten somebody that's established, that has equity. And I keep going back to that word, but it's the absolute truth of it. If we were having a match and I kept saying, oh, oh, Dashfire,
You son of a bitch.
you're trash. I was like, oh, Dashfire, you suck, you're trash, you're garbage, you're nothing, and I beat you in the match. I just beat a nobody, If you were to say to me, oh, you're old, oh, you suck, this, that, and the other, and then you beat me, you just beat a bum, I want to say Dashfire is an established talent, excellent host, somebody that is researched and well and knows the insides and outs and the intricacies, so that if I do defeat you, then I've beaten somebody that is better than me, that makes me better. To have CM Punk talk about the dead father and to have Roman Reigns call him old, all of this mudslinging, it just seemed very immature and very unnecessary. What I did like, I feel like they righted the ship. They kind of fixed everything when they did the last promo on Raw, where they actually put each other over, where CM Punk was saying, you know what? You did wrestle a bunch of WrestleMania main events. You've been there before. You've established, you know what you're doing, and then you had Roman putting over CM Punk saying, I hope that one day when I leave this place, people will still chant my name the same way that they chant yours. That's how it should have been from the beginning. I feel like they could have had a completely different trajectory, but pro wrestling a lot of the times is a business that, what have you done for me lately? And to this end, I feel like going into this main event of WrestleMania Night 2, CM Punk and Roman Reigns finally has that fire, finally has that storyline that we can all really get behind. So we know that these are both two guys that want to really prove to themselves and to each other that they're the best at what they do in this industry.
Yeah, I would definitely have them build each other up and almost be like, oh, like Punk would say, I'm the best in the world. And Roman say, you were the best in the world. Prove it. Beat me. Show me how good you are. Kind of like a rivalry going on. The way I would point it out is WrestleMania 17. The Rock versus Stone Cold. How they portray that build-up. And they were both on equal levels. They're saying how great they are and this and that. And it was building to that match to see who truly was the best. Man, I love that match, except for the ending. Oh, the ending was so bad. Yeah, so now, speaking of best in the world, let's get to predictions. So we have 6-man tag match, Logan Paul, Austin Theory, I Show Speed, Team Stream, versus the Usos and LA Knight. Who you got in this?
I'm going with the Usos and LA Knight. It's not I Show Speed and Logan Paul's night. They're not going to lose any value from losing. Austin Theory is capable enough to hold their hands and take them through this entirety of the match. This will be a good opportunity to start the crowd and start the night right with the Usos and LA Knight standing tall.
I agree with you. I think LA Knight's finally going to get his moment, so I'm going with the Usos as well. We have Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre.
I'm going to say Jacob Fatu. This is Jacob Fatu's match to win. He's going to get a WrestleMania highlight moment here with his hand raised in front of a big crowd. Drew McIntyre doesn't need this win. The unsanctioned match is going to go to Jacob Fatu's favor.
I feel like with all the times Drew got screwed, he's going to get this moment, and then Jacob's going to get it like backlash or something like that. So I'm going to go with Drew on this one.
Interesting.
So now we have the Women's Tag Team Championship 4-way. Nia Jax and Lash Legend, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, Bayley and Laura Valkyria, and the Bella Twins.
So I said Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss earlier in the night. However, I'm going to make a high risk controversial play. I'm going to say the Bella Twins are actually going to capture the tag team championships, but they're not going to pin Nia Jax or Lash Legend for them.
I'm also going to say there's going to be a new champion. However, not the Bella Twins. I'm going to say last year is going to be rewritten with Bayley and Lyra winning the tag titles yet again.
Redemption. There we go.
Then next up we have Women's Intercontinental Championship match, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch.
Well, you already know my answer for this. Can I see some MFing midriffs over on the Kick Chat? This is going to AJ Lee and those rock hard abs. Let's go. There they are. There they are.
Okay, so you got AJ?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say her name? AJ? Yeah, AJ is going to win it. She's going to retain the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and let's hope she throws that belt over her shoulder and not around her waist.
Okay, so I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I'm going to go with Becky because I don't think they can have a champion that's gone for like 4 months at a time. So I'm going to go with Becky on that one.
Controversial take.
And next we have the, 4 or 5 times modified match. Seth Rollins versus Gunther.
Gunther all the way. Seth Rollins is just there to propel Gunther to SummerSlam, to where he wrestles Brock Lesnar.
I agree with that. I'm also going with Gunther there. Next up we have Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan Women's World Championship match.
I think Liv is going to take it. I think that winning the Women's Royal Rumble and then not capturing the championship at WrestleMania is not the play. I think the money could be in the chase. Stephanie Valkyr is going to lose the Women's World Championship to Liv Morgan at WrestleMania Night 1.
I also believe that too because Liv Morgan filmed the movie. She's going to be promoting it. New music video, Royal Rumble winner. It's almost like they're trying to push her into the media. And what better way in the media than to have the gold with her? So Liv Morgan is also my pick. Then we have the undisputed WWE Championship match, Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton.
I'm going with Randy Orton. All of the nonsense that's been going on leading up to this match was unfortunate, but I think Randy is going to capture the undisputed WWE Championship for, what is this, a 14th or 15th time? I think it's 15th, if I'm not mistaken.
It'll be 15. He will break the tie with Triple H.
Wow, that's crazy to think. That's crazy to think. Now, to your point when we were talking about having Liv Morgan be the Women's World Championship, doing the media runs with the championship, you would think that in that same mindset, you would want to have Cody Rhodes with the Street Fighter movie coming out very soon, rocking the championship as well. But that's going to be in October. So Randy winning the championship at WrestleMania can actually kind of set things up for Cody to get it back at around October, so he can do some media tours promoting the Street Fighter movie coming up. So I'm going with Randy Orton.
I think Randy's going to win as well. However, the WWE title will not always be with Randy. So the last SmackDown, Pat McAfee stole the WWE title from Cody Rhodes, brought it on his podcast, and was displaying it, almost like he won the belt. And then Cody came in, smashed up the studio, took the belt back. But what if Pat just shows off the belt on every podcast?
Wow. Yep. And there's so many people, there's so many eyes on that product. That's free. That's advertisement right there. So the business side of Randy Orton winning that championship and Pat McAfee flaunting it is a very real possibility.
So now we get Night 2 Sunday. This is going to be a harder one to predict. Intercontinental Championship ladder match. Penta, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD, Rusev, or Rey Mysterio.
I'm going with Penta on this one. He's going to retain the Intercontinental Championship in a absolute car crash of a ladder match. It's going to be a great showcase for all of the talent involved. Penta is such a huge star, and you know that the WWE machine is behind them. I just don't see him losing the championship on Night 2.
Yeah, the only person I can see him losing to is Rey Mysterio, but I think Dominic Mysterio is going to interfere. So I'm also going to go with Penta. And now we got the Battle of the Big Bastards now. Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar.
This one can go either way. Personally, I would like Obafemi to win, but I feel like Brock Lesnar could use the momentum of knocking off Obafemi into his big-time retirement match with Gunter. I think Oba will be fine if he loses, but if he were to knock off Brock Lesnar at the show of shows, it would cement his spot at the very top of the card. So personally, I would say Obafemi, but the business side of me thinks that it's going to be Brock Lesnar. So if I were to flip a coin, let's say Obafemi for the future of the industry.
I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar. I think Brock needs the more momentum going into SummerSlam. But at the same time, I think Obafemi is going to put on a display that's going to show that he's ready for the next level. He will come so close to beating Brock that redemption is his motivation. He wants another chance at Brock. He wants another chance to prove he can beat him. And I think that's going to motivate him in future storylines. So I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar in that one.
There you go. Sometimes you can get a lot more equity behind your name in losing. You can win by losing.
So next up, we have United States Championship match. Sami Zayn defending against Trick Williams.
I got to go with Trick Willie. You know, we out here trying to whoop that Trip. whoop, whoop that trick. I'm sorry. I'm stumbling all over myself. I am so hyped for this. Sami Zayn, Trick Williams, the United States Championship. This is a match custom made for Trick Williams to win.
I have a feeling I'm going to go with Sami Zayn. The reason I do that is, as of late, he's been showing more heel tendencies. So I think he's going to win this match, but with heel, like a roll up or feet on the ropes, or he's going to do something where it's going to lead to a heel turn down the road. And I think he's going to get a little bit more aggressive.
I could see that. I could see that.
Next up, we have the Demon, Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio.
So this one also is a little bit weird because if Dominic Mysterio beats the Demon, then that kind of puts the Demon to bed. So they kind of book themselves in the corner here when it comes to this. Dominic doesn't really lose anything by losing. But he's such a huge star. Obviously, he's the AAA Mega Champion. He's got Liv Morgan. I'm going to go with Dominic. Dirty Dom's got to win it. Unfortunately, Finn Balor being kicked out of the Judgment Day, then getting beat by Dominic. He's just so big of a star. There's just no way. There's just no way I see Finn Balor coming through on the other side of this.
I think something's going to come in play here because Danhausen's curse. So he loses the Intercontinental Championship. He turns on Finn because he gets aggressive. Then he loses to Demon Finn Balor at WrestleMania. So I'm going with Finn Balor. But I think this starts a losing streak where potentially he loses the AAA Championship too. Then all of a sudden there's problems with Liv. And all of a sudden things are changing around him. And it would be hilarious if he goes to Danhausen with his Dan DeMausens. It's like, what can I do to get this curse off, dude? It'd be hilarious. So Finn Balor.
I did hear that. So you say Finn Balor. I did hear that Danhausen may have a spot on the WrestleMania show, and there may be little people involved, but don't quote me on that.
I think I saw they were thinking of a 2-on-1 handicap match. Danhausen versus Kit Wilson and The Miz.
Oh my.
Yeah, so maybe there's like little people going into that match too. Okay, now the either really good or really bad match, the Battle of the Fear Boners, Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley.
Well, it's definitely up for that one. Rhea Ripley, she's got Rhea Ripley for sure. I feel like Triple H and the powers that be love Rhea. They're going to consistently put her in positions to succeed. And to be perfectly honest, I do not blame them. She's a star. She's great in the ring. Jade will be a let me just be positive. I'm going to try and be positive. It's going to be fine. They won't hurt each other. Nobody will get hurt. Rhea Ripley will have her WrestleMania moment and once again become the women's champion.
I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I'm going to say because they put Mission and BFAB in there, they invested all this time, they want to get Jade more over. And a big thing would be beating Rhea Ripley. I'm not saying it's going to be clean. There's going to be a lot of interference to cover everything up. But I think Jade Cargill is actually going to beat Rhea Ripley.
I see. Investing some stock in some Jade Cargill. You know what? That is actually some smart business acumen right there.
And remember, too, around the corner is Queen of the Ring. Winner gets a title shot, too.
And there is money in the chase. I could see that.
And now the hardest one to pick. The very last match, the very first time CM Punk has been in the main event of the actual main event, Night 2. Now, funny thing is, this is his first main event in Night 2, but he's never won in WrestleMania since he's came back.
Because now that is a interesting statistic.
Yeah, so if he wins tonight, it'll be his first Night 2 real main event and real win at WrestleMania. So the question is... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you're good.
Oh, you had a question?
I was going to talk about how if being the main event of Night 1 holds the same weight as main eventing Night 2.
To me, it doesn't. To me, the main event is the last match. So whether you cut it
Yes.
up into 2 nights or one night, whatever is the final match of WrestleMania is the main event. The one
Agreed.
match
I
that
agree with
pissed me
that.
off though was Edge versus Alberto Del Rio. It was the show opener, and Del Rio won the Royal Rumble.
Mm. That was I do remember that. They trash Alberto Del Rio's car.
Oh yeah. And then that was the
Yeah, real
40-man
glass.
Royal Rumble.
Crimea River. Yes, the biggest Royal Rumble ever. I remember that one.
Did you see what's happened with them recently?
Yes, apparently. Everybody here in the chat actually smartened me up. El Patron was in trouble with the law, and from last that I heard, he's out, but he had to pay like an exorbitant amount of pesos.
Yeah, he's been
Like,
arrested
I'm
like
not trying to
four or
be
five
funny. Like, I
times.
think he really, yeah, I feel like he really had to like spend a lot of money.
I felt so bad when he was with Paige too, because you can
Oh,
tell he was
Marco,
taking
yeah.
advantage of her too.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And I've told this story before on the stream. When I was doing extra work for WWE, this was around the time Paige and Alberto Del Rio were with each other, and so they were all lovey-dovey and public showing of affection and in the back and stuff like that, and it was very apparent. So,
Yeah, we also know what else
Paige,
happened in the back too with Paige.
oh my goodness, hey yo.
Oh yeah,
But I
so
am a huge fan of Paige. Yeah.
yeah, like that's one of the women I really want to return to WWE because she
Yeah.
was really good for her young age too.
Mhm.
Game Master, I heard he got arrested in Mexico recently. Yes, domestic abuse, I believe.
Wow.
I think it's his third time too.
Crazy. It's almost like it's a pattern or something.
I think the last time he got arrested, the charges were confinement, forcible confinement, and sexual assault.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. And you know why he didn't go to jail?
Did he what did he do?
The witness went missing.
Wow.
Yeah, so how convenient was
Wow.
that?
That's pretty effing convenient. And that's pro wrestling for you. That's pro wrestling for you.
Yeah. So getting back now, World Heavyweight Championship match, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Hardest match to pick. Who you got?
Well, it's the last match on the second night of WrestleMania. I don't see Roman Reigns showing up and defending the championship the same way CM Punk has, or even being on the show as much as CM Punk. It wouldn't be it would kind of be it's weird now that I'm sitting here thinking about this. It could go either way. Roman Reigns with the World Heavyweight Championship, there's nothing really I could think of that would be a negative about it. Having him standing tall at the end of the second night of WrestleMania, it just feels right. It doesn't feel out of place. It's going to be a good match, but there's a part of me that wants to see CM Punk not only go into WrestleMania in the main event as champion, but walk out still holding the championship. So, you know what? I'm gonna have a controversial take here. I think CM Punk is going to retain the World Heavyweight Championship.
I think it makes more sense for Punk to win, consider Roman's schedule. The last time he won the world title, he took so much time off that they created the World Heavyweight Championship because he wasn't there. So I can't see them doing that again. And the whole thing is, it was built under Punk saying, you don't show up, you don't care about this place. So if he wins the belt and doesn't show up, kind of proves him right.
Exactly.
So there has to be a regular champion. So I have to go with CM Punk as well.
Look at that. Great minds.
XPW Soldier, FCM Punk, and screw Rhea.
Hey, so sound off in the chat. Who do you guys got? CM Punk or Roman Reigns? I see everybody hanging out with us across YouTube, across Twitch, across Kick, and now live on Twitter. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Let your voices be heard. Who do you got? CM Punk or Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship?
And not only that, when this becomes a video on both channels, in the comments, write down who you think each match someone's going to win. Then we'll go back. We'll
Yes, we
see
would
if
love the engagement.
yeah, we'll go back. We'll see if Diaz won the predictions. We'll see if I won the predictions. It'll be a fun time. It's a friendly rivalry for bragging rights. Team Dash versus Team Diaz.
Hey, you know what, brother? I'm telling you this. Everybody knows that this sage 20-year veteran of the industry has his finger on the pulse and knows exactly what he's talking about, brother.
I guess we'll see. Unless TKO screws you over.
I could see that happening. Marco out here over on the YouTube is saying CM Punk is going to retain. Let's go. Thank you, Marco. I appreciate that.
Now the question is, will it be clean? Because next year WrestleMania is in Saudi Arabia. And the question is, who's going to be champion then? Because Saudi Arabia has been wanting one single match the entire time they've been wanting a WrestleMania. You know what that match is?
I have a feeling that it would involve Roman Reigns, and I have a feeling that it would involve his family member,
That is right.
Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
So they've been throwing like millions and millions of dollars at The Rock to get this matchup going. It's in Saudi Arabia, WrestleMania 43. And it's funny because Nick Khan said, oh, it doesn't matter where WrestleMania is. They'll just attend anyways. I'm pretty sure certain people will not be led into that country. I'm just saying. And
who's not to say that this current global phenomenon that's happening right now might escalate into something a little bit more serious.
yeah. And the whole thing is too, The Rock's been bombing at the box office. So,
speaking of,
yeah. So if he has another, what was that movie he did? The War Machine or the Fighting Machine or whatever. He was like the UFC
the fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just the fighter. Yeah.
So that bombed. You had Tooth Fairy. You had all these other movies. Black Adam. Black Adam almost ended the DC universe.
Yeah, black eye on the DC universe for sure. Ayo.
So after Black Adam happened, all of a sudden he's part of TKO. All of a sudden he gets all that money because he's trying to drum up the fan base there. So
I can't blame him. I mean,
the question is, does The Rock cost Roman Reigns in some way the match? Now, it doesn't have to be The Rock himself. It could be someone who sends from The Rock.
Travis Scott. He's coming out.
Oh,
He's gonna.
Oh, God. Oh, he ruined so many things.
Yeah, fuck Travis Scott. At least in terms of the WrestleMania stuff. You know, I kind of bopped to some of his songs. So
You know, it's really funny. So Cody was talking about how once I get you in the ring, Travis Scott, I'm going to give you a receipt. But unfortunately, Travis Scott never got into a ring.
yeah, funny that he knew he brother.
So
Oh
do
my
you
God.
remember the Money in the Bank match? It was John Cena and Logan Paul versus Uso and Punk, I think it was?
Brother, you're asking me. Every
Okay.
pay-per-view I watch, I'm blazed out my skull. So
So that match was actually supposed to be a 6-man with Travis Scott. But apparently Travis Scott didn't take the training seriously and just like was smoking all the time, didn't want to do any bumps.
it's that sexy red syndrome, bro. Sometimes you'll get a
Oh.
little yachty. Sometimes you'll get a Travis Scott.
I still have her voice in my head. I don't know how she
Oh.
became a thing. Did you see that she covered Michael Jackson's Beat It?
Oh my God. She sullied the good sound of Michael Jackson's Beat It. That's sacrilege.
She changed the words to Eat It because of her
Like Weird Al,
her parts.
like Weird Al Yankovic. This is okay. So listen, all right, calm down, liberals. This is just an observation and a joke. How come all these female rappers got to rap about they pussies? Like it's a running like gag. Sometimes I'll be listening to Rap Caviar on my Spotify, and if it's a female style individual that ends up rapping, I like take a little mental note in my head. How long will it take before she starts rapping about her pussy?
Well, the funny thing is, when I was growing up, you'd hear music on the radio and stuff, and they'd have to blur out the word ass. But now it's like everywhere. there's like every single word is out there.
And you know what? This is ass. A wise man once said.
Ass is ass. Yeah, so that was the predictions. We'll see who wins out of that. Anything else you want to say, Diaz?
Well, I want to say thank you to everybody that hung out with us, not only on this corner of the internet, on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Twitter, but everybody that hung out with us, PWR included, over on Dashfire's corner of the internet. It's so cool seeing you streaming on Rumble now. It's so cool being able to see everybody coming through and hanging out for these streams. I'm glad that we're able to do stuff beyond the typical detractor DSP stuff. I'm glad that I'm able to talk on pro wrestling, you know, as a fan, but also as somebody that has done this for such a long time. And once again, you knocked it out of the park with your research, with the docket that you have here behind the scenes, and just being such an incredible host, Dash. It has been an honor and it's been a pleasure, as always, making this content with you. And I'm not talking about the cousin type of content.
Well, a dance takes two people to do, and you've been a fantastic person. Your analyzations of the match, the builds up, everything. So I couldn't ask for a better host than you, especially you, PWR. Go fuck yourself. But as the co says, penises up all across the interwebs, dudes.
Let's effing go. King Be Cruel is in the house over on Kick. Everybody, bow your heads and pretend to be serious for a moment, because we are amongst royalty. Spoons out for King Be Cruel, or should I say King Be Bitch.
Who,
Are
by
you
the
going to be
way,
sampling the thrills of WrestleMania this year? Go ahead.
King Be Cruel is going to be a guest on the upcoming Robust podcast, by the way. I'm just saying.
Look at that. King Be Cruel making inlines here, and the Robust podcast, one of the fastest rising productions here on the internet. I'm a huge fan, and not just because I was a guest on that show. Heavy hitters in the industry. Kind of Sav was there, Bland Polecat was there. You've got an all-star lineup over there, dude. I am inspired by the work that you've been putting out there.
So I do have some upcoming guests, such as Misery Merchants. We have Pickle Time. We're going to talk about Bossman Jack. We're going to be talking to King Be Cruel. We're going to be talking to JT Win about DSP's financials. We're going to be talking to Ugly Monster about all the dents and much more.
God. Now, let me ask you a hot question. Let me ask you a controversial question. PWR has shown up twice for both episodes of Smart Guys. Now, I know we've been having some conversations behind the scenes, but I want to pose the question to you, and you don't have to answer with a definitive answer if you don't want to. But is there a possibility that we will get a PWR guest on one of these episodes of Smart Guys? What do you think?
I will tell you this. If PWR unblocks me on Discord and we can talk, we can start there. So there is a possibility we can make this into a 3-person podcast.
Look at that. The third chair is open. The iDubbbz chair is there for you to pull up.
All we got to do is talk to me behind the scenes, PWR.
Yeah, and like I said, this is all jokes. This is all content. This is just us chopping it up about the things that we love. And I feel like the common ground that we can all walk on is our love for professional wrestling. And I'm very open to having conversations with people that also enjoy the sport of kings. And in fact, I do remember PWR and Ames had a very amicable conversation about pro wrestling on one of their live streams one of these days. So it's not outside the realm of possibility. And you never want to completely shut somebody out, because I do believe the fans are clamoring for it. Sound off in the chat. Let us know if that is something that you want to see. Is your penis is up for that?
And not only that, PWR, we could also review, the 3 of us, a Lex Luger heavy episode of Smart Guys, or even a Hulk Hogan heavy episode.
or even a Shawn Michaels
Here we
heavy
go.
episode. And in fact, there's a new Shawn Michaels documentary coming out, I do believe. I think on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know what? I mean, the welcome mat is on the stoop. All you gotta do is knock on that door.
Yeah, even like someone in chat says P Dubs got to get his shit together. And then we have XPW
And you
Soldier.
know,
He's a spaz and will ruin it.
I mean, who knows? And I think that's the chaotic element that you need sometimes on a show. If we were all sitting here agreeing with each other, it'd make for boring content. So who knows? Stranger things have happened in the world of professional wrestling. You had Vince McMahon and Eric Bischoff working under the same brand. You've had Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart bury the hatchet. You had the Ultimate Warrior come back and give a final promo in front of a WWE crowd before he passed away. Stranger things have happened. In the world of professional wrestling, anything could happen. So who knows?
And also at one point, Vince McMahon owned the WWF. He owned ECW and WCW. And at one point, he had Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman both as GMs. So anything could happen.
Anything can happen.
And I will say this to
King be
PWR.
cruel.
I'm willing, if you come on here, no jokes, no attacking you, no gotcha, nothing like that. You come in,
It'll be cordial.
it'll be cordial as long as you're cordial to me. So let's have a good conversation. Let's talk it out. And let's talk about our love for wrestling.
King Be Cruel actually agrees with the hashtag no more abuse over on the Kick product. As much as I hate PWR, it would make for great entertaining content. And that's the point of all of this. True. Agreed.
Yes, like I said, no shots, no attacking you, just the three of us having fun with the modern era, dude. And we can do this. So anything you want to plug, Diaz?
Oh my goodness. So listen up, guys. I took the plunge and I gave Elon Musk $4 for an entire month of premium. And I've been live streaming my Stepmania streams. And I live streamed this episode of Smark Guys on the Twitter. So if you can, follow me on x.com/BM2KX. I'm going to be putting a lot of my content up on the Twitter now and seeing where I can go with it. Apparently, they have this new initiative where if you put out original content, they're going to give you some more considerations. So I'm going to give it a college try. I'm going to expand my reach over on Rumble, where I will exclusively have my live streams and my short form content of my Dance Dance Revolution streams. So if you want to check me out on Rumble, search up Lord Diaz. And let me tell you something, Dash. Brother, we came across some gold dust the other night. I don't know if you've ever heard of this LOLCOW or this LOLCOW, but his name is Dustin Nunn, and we sampled the thrill of him on Wednesday, and we had a great time watching him. So on Friday, tomorrow, I'm planning on grabbing as much Dustin Nunn footage as I can, and we're all going to enjoy this brand new LOLCOW on the block. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to share it with you guys. So do stay tuned. Follow me on X. Find me on YouTube, Lore_Diaz. Find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Lore_Diaz. Find me on Kick, the preferred platform for this production, kick.com/Lore-Diaz. And then, like I said, we are expanding our reach over into Rumble as well. I'm glad to be seeing you over there as well. Rumble.com/user/Lore_Diaz.
It's so weird how they use user as their thing, because I thought it was a mistake at first. Because on Rumble, yeah. So I went to put the link on Twitter, and I'm like, why does it keep saying user? Yeah, so if anyone
one of
wants
the many intricacies. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to follow me, YouTube, Bad Moments Reacts and VODs, Kick is Dash Fire, Rumble is The Real Dash Fire, Twitter is the real dash fire minus the E and put a 1 because I was drunk when I made it. And also tomorrow, I'm going to do a react of Agent Proper's worst DSP moments of March 2026. I was supposed to do it last week, but the quarter and stuff came up. Then on Sunday, we have DSP Weekend Review. I go over the entire week of what DSP did and said. Absolute disgusting stuff, but he's always disgusting. Next week, I have Robust Podcast, Pickle Time, Misery Merchant. Also this month, in April, I have a very disgusting stream that's going on. First, I did a Derek stream. Now I'm going to do a Redemption Games, which is actually worse than Derek. So follow me on Bad Moments Reacts and VODs on YouTube. And yeah, so hopefully everyone has fun. It's all about having fun. You come chill out. I don't care if you like DSP. I don't care if you like PWR. Everyone's welcome to come to my chat, hang out, have some fun. Unless you're a pedophile, then you can go fuck yourself.
Feet first, wood chipper.
Exactly. So I want to thank you, Lore. Another great episode. And we'll talk behind the scenes about the next one. And I hope you have a good night.
No, you. Thank you so much, guys. And until next time, take care.
Okay, guys, how'd that go? How you guys like that? That was a good episode. I like that. See, I like talking about like the modern stuff and like the classic stuff. And it was so good to go away from like Giant Gonzalez and Mr. Hughes, who I absolutely hated watching during WWF King of the Ring 93. And then you go to Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, and those are good big men. And also, guys, after this stream, we are going to go to Kick. We're going to continue on Rumble as well, where we're going to play WWE 2K26. And I have a character I built that is based on PWR. And we're going to test him out in the ring. We're going to see how he does. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to create other LOLCOWs and see how they do. So join me on Kick after this stream ends at Dash Fire or on Rumble, The Real Dash Fire. And as always, guys, thank you for coming. Thank you for having fun. And thank you for everything. Hope you're all safe, healthy, and happy. I love each every one of you. Have a good one.
Another begging stream, another fabrication fails on the ropes, the lights are dim, the walls are closing in, another dead in his ego, another grift begins. He believes the trolls, the haters, the algorithms are rigged, but truth is taught a bit of pill, a consequence unfit. He built his throne on lies, our curated careful scams, now dash fires burning bright, exposing all the shit.